Hey, friends and family. Tonight we played the bold game at Wednesday night service. This was a really fun service. I really wish there was a bigger turnout. If it was any service that you go to, it's this one because we just played a game. And the game was that you had 60 seconds to tell either your restoration story, the story of how you got connected to Molk, or your salvation story. So I chose to tell the story of how I got to Molk, and I'm not going to try to do it in 60 seconds because it takes away a lot of the cool stuff. The way I got connected to Molk is that in 2020, or excuse me, in 2019, I had just gotten kicked out of ROTC, or medically disqualified, in January. And so from January until the beginning of that summer, I was really trying to find, like, what am I going to do next in my life? And by the time the summer came, I was doing a lot of internet networking through LinkedIn. And I got connected with a guy named Colin Stevenson, who is all the way in, I want to say, the United Kingdom. And him and I got connected because we were both part of a business. And this business was dedicated to work culture reformation. Now, that business did a whole lot more talking about ideas than execution on any type of work ever. But the benefit I had was I got connected to Colin Stevenson. And at the time, Colin had his own business related to culture change in the workplace. So that was how I got connected to Colin. And Colin, unbeknownst to me, was connected to John Lenhart. And they were talking about leadership and things like that related to business. And because those two were connected, I just happened to be scrolling on LinkedIn one day, and I saw John Lenhart's profile pop up on my page. So I clicked on it because I was in my networking era, and I saw that he had published research for the mind and brain on his page. And I clicked on it, and it was mind blowing because it was the first time that I had read anything related to happiness, and I think there's some leadership stuff in there and habituation. And the first thing I thought was, wow, what this guy has is exactly what all of the colleges and business leaders are trying to do. This guy has what they're trying to achieve, and they don't have his information, so they're doing it the wrong way. And I knew that just by reading this initial high level research for the mind and brain that John had published. So I reached out to him on LinkedIn and I said, "Hey, what you have is exactly what colleges are trying to teach in their leadership classes, but they don't have the answer. They don't have what you have. Have you ever considered selling it?" John replied to me saying, "We've tried to sell it to colleges but haven't had success. If you can do it, we'll give you 10%." And that was my first interaction with John Lenhart on LinkedIn. So unfortunately, I've not sold a single thing on, Flowsess, but for the next year, John essentially took me under his wing, and he taught me all of the information that he had available on Flowsess about how to understand who you are, how to gain energy on purpose, how to flow, how to help other people, how to be a leader, how to kick ass in business, how to kick ass at school. He was teaching me all of these different things in life that were really helping me to take my game up to the next level. And I kept asking him, it was like the scene from Kung Fu Panda where Po asked his dad what the secret ingredient is in the ramen noodles. And I kept asking, like, where'd you get this? How did you come up with this information? I want to know the secrets to life. Like, how did you do this? And he would always kind of tease me, and he's like, I didn't come up with it. I didn't create it. And finally, one day, I feel like he revealed to me that the source of the information that he had gotten. Now, this is not how it literally happened. This is just how it felt like it happened. It was like a movie scene, and he props up this book on the camera, and he goes, "Everything I ever taught you in the last year came from this book." And it said Bible, Bible. And I was mind blown. And I was like, wow. This whole time, like, I had spent my life running away from the Bible, right? And here this guy taught me how to live life in the best way possible by teaching me principles from the Bible. And that's when I knew I wanted more of this information. And that is the story of how I got connected to Music of Life Church. It was a process of a couple more years, but because of my experience with John and the mentorship he provided, I wanted to dive deeper into learning more of the word and applying those principles in my life. And then in 2022, um, I was baptized and I became an official member of Music of Life Church, Kimberly. So that's the story of how I got connected to Music of Life Church. If you're interested in learning more about the information that we teach to the world so we can help people learn how to bear their burdens and help people learn how to be leaders and to do the greatest commission that we're called to do, reach out. I would love to talk to you. I'll share a link with information about the church that I attend and that I call home, and I'll look forward to talking to you. Have a great rest of your week.